Hola, ¿qué tal? This is Profesor Pablo, and here we are with Spanish lessons. Learn Spanish with Profesor Pablo. Our lesson now will be los números, from 0 to 10. Los números. You see the numbers in blue. We also have some money and time expressions here that we're going to use with the numbers, because traditional Spanish, they teach you numbers and that's it. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, and so on. But they don't tell you how to use them. So we want to give you some practicality, some communicative ideas, how to incorporate them into daily life. So let's take a look at our numbers. 0 is cero, cero, cero. Uno, uno, like the card game, uno. Dos, dos. Tres, tres, tres. Cero, uno, dos, tres. Cuatro, cuatro, cuatro. Cinco, cinco, cinco. Seis, seis, seis. Siete, siete, siete. Ocho, ocho. Nueve, nueve, nueve. Diez, diez, diez. All right, take a look at all the numbers. We don't see any accent marks, okay? 0 again is cero. 1 is uno. 2 is dos. 3 is tres. 4 is cuatro. 5, cinco. 6, seis. 7, siete. 8, ocho. 9, nueve. And 10, diez. We studied the alphabet, the DNA of the Spanish language. We know our sound systems. We know how to pronounce our vowels. Look, A, O, U, O, A. Take the basic fundamentals that you know for pronunciation and use them when you pronounce the words. Cero, uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve, diez. All right, down below here in brown, you see some words. You see centavo is cent, dólar is dollar, segundo is a second, like on your clock, on your watch, minuto, minute, hora, hour, dia, day, semana, week, mes, month, and año is year. When we use numbers all the time when we spend money, pay for something. So you need to take your numbers and associate them with centavos or dólares. Time, amounts of time. Oh, I'm going to be there for 10 minutes. Voy a estar allí por 10 minutos. But before we go any further, in Spanish, how do you make a noun plural? How do you make a noun plural? English, we say car, cars. We add an S. Well, in Spanish, it's basically the same. Okay? You see all these, any word that ends in a vowel, to make it plural, you just add an S. So centavo would be cent, like 1 cent. Centavos would be cents. So if I want to say 5 cents, it'd be cinco centavos. Segundo, 10 seconds would be 10 segundos with an S. All these words, except for the 2 that are circled, you just add a letter S to the end of the word. Cent, centavos. Seconds, segundos. Minutes, minutos. Hours, horas, horas. Days, días, días. Weeks, semanas. And years would be años, años. But what about these 2 that have the purple squiggly around them? They don't end in a vowel, do they? They end in an S and end in an R. Well, we need to make them plural, don't we? But the way you make them plural is add ES, ES. So dólar is dollar. Un dólar is $1. Add ES and you've got plural. Dólares, dólares, dólares. If I want to say months, meses, meses. Add ES to the end of mes. Meses, meses. Dólar, dólares. All right, remember, accent marks, we try to keep them in green to point them out to you. Over 95% of the words in the Spanish language don't have accent marks. The few that do are for a certain reason. This word happens to have an accent mark because it's the 3rd vowel back. In Spanish, very few words are pronounced stressing the vowel that's 3 back from the end. 1, 2, 3. That's not today's lesson, but that's why números has an accent. If it didn't, it would be pronounced numeros, numeros, but it's números, números, los números. Accent mark here on dollar, because it's not pronounced dollar, it's dollar. You're stressing the O. Dollar. It breaks the rule of pronunciation. We're not getting into those yet, but just know that dollar has an accent on the O because we need to stress the O when we pronounce it. Dollar. And when you go plural, dólares, there's an accent mark on the O as well. Dólares. Where else do we have an accent mark? Dia. All right, D-I-A. The accent mark on the I is breaking up that word to two syllables, two sounds. Dia. But you see an I-E here together, and an I-E here together, and an E-I here together. They're like one syllable. We're not breaking them up. We are not saying seis, or siete, or diez. We're saying diez, like one syllable, diez. But that's not today's lesson. Just wanted to point it out. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, over here we have some words. We have un, una, unos, and unas. And remember, we put these little squiggly circles around them because our brain clusters ideas. In our brain, we just keep inputting all sorts of clusters of information, and then they become like a Venn circle. They start intersecting each other. Well, un. Well, if a word ends in an O, a noun, and you want to say like 1 cent, it's un centavo. $1, it's un dólar. 1 second is un segundo. 1 minute, un minuto. We get to hora. Notice the A is underlined. It's feminine. It ends in A. It doesn't end in O. It happens to, this is, even though it ends in R, it's el dólar, un dólar. It's masculine. But the word hora, most words that end in A are feminine. So we can't say un and hora, they don't go. That's a mistake. You have to say una. 1 hour, una hora. 1 week, una semana. Now, dia ends in A, but it happens to be masculine. Why? That's the way the language evolved. El dia, 1 day. Un dia, 1 day. But una hora, 1 hour. Una semana, 1 week. Mes, if I'm going to say 1 month, this is masculine, el mes, so un mes is 1 month. In 1 year, un año. So all of these words dealing with money or time are masculine, with the exception of hora and semana. All right, so un centavo means 1 cent or a cent. Un dólar means $1 or a dollar. Un segundo, a second or 1 second. Un minuto, 1 minute or a minute. Una semana, 1 week. Una hora, 1 hour. Un día, 1 day. Un mes, 1 month. And un año is 1 year. But we also have the plural, unos and unas, okay? If I want to say a few cents, unos centavos. Unos means a few or some. But more commonly with money, we say unos centavos, a few cents. Unos dólares, a few dollars. Necesito unos dólares. Necesito, I need. Necesito unos dólares. I need some dollars, okay? A few seconds. Unos segundos. It will be ready in a few seconds. Estará listo. It will be ready. Estará listo en unos segundos. In a few seconds. In a few minutes. En unos minutos. Unos minutos. En una hora. In an hour. Una hora. If I want to say in a few hours, en algunas horas, unas horas, some hours, unos días, some days. Some days, now that's very common. We say, some days I stay at home. Unos días me quedo en la casa. Some days I go to the beach. Unos días voy a la playa. If I want to say some months, unos meses. Some months it rains. Unos meses llueve. Some months it's really warm. Unos meses hace mucho calor. Ay, Chihuahua, hace mucho calor. It's really hot. Hace mucho calor. Unos meses hace mucho calor. Some years the team does well. Unos años el equipo hace bien. Unos años, some years. So let's go back. We've got our numbers from 0 to 10. We know numeros has an accent mark over the U because it happens to be stressed 3 vowels back. any word in the Spanish language, any word that's stressed 3 vowels back, unless there's a diphthong, like 2 vowels forming 1 syllable in the middle, is going to have an accent mark on that 3rd vowel because it breaks the 2 rules of pronunciation, which we will study at a further date. 1 through 10, no accent marks. 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. Listen to the pronunciation. You know your vowels. Don't go dos, ano, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3. Qua. These 2 vowels together form 1 sound. That's what we call a diphthong. We don't say cuatro, it's qua. Cuatro, 2 syllables. Cuatro. 5, 5. The I is E. The O is O. 5 for 5. 6. The E and the I together are forming 1 sound. It's a 1-syllable word. 6. 6. 7. The I and the E here are a diphthong. 2 vowels together forming 1 sound. 7. 7. It's a 2-syllable word. We don't say siete, 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 siete. 7. 8. Ocho, ocho. 9, 9. Again, we've got 2 vowels together forming 1 sound. It's a 2-syllable word. Nueve, nueve. Remember the V and the B are pronounced the same. Nueve, nueve. And then we have diez. 2 vowels together here forming 1 sound. It's a 1-syllable word, diez. But the word day has an accent mark, so it separates the 2 vowels into 2 separate sounds. Dia, 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 day. So that's a little bit about accent marks. When we get to the accent mark lessons, you guys are going to be way ahead of the game and you're going to learn a little as we go. Let's go down to our words dealing with money. Centavo and dollar. Most of the time, we use them in the plural. Centavos and dólares. Dólares. Here, most of the time, the expressions of time we use in the plural or singular. Una hora, 1 hour. 10 hours, 10 horas. 1 day, un día. Some days, unos días. So we have centavo and dólar. Cent, dollar. Segundo, second. Minuto, minute. Hora, hour. Día, day. Semana, week. Mes, month. And año. Año, that N is like with a tilde, it's like the NY. Año. Año, year. And to make them plural, remember, words that end in a vowel, nouns that end in a vowel, to make them plural, you just add the letter S. So we have centavos, segundos, minutos, horas, días, semanas, and años. But words that don't end in a vowel, to make them plural, we add ES. So dollars would be dólares, still with an accent mark, dólares. And mes, add ES, meses, meses. So if you want to say like, I'll be ready in 10 minutes, estaré listo en 10 minutos, en 10 minutos. If you want to say it costs $9, cuesta $9. We're going to learn how to use all the expressions of cost and time, but now we just want to give some kind of meaning to numbers so they're just not standing on a street corner by themselves. Okay? $4. It cost $6. Cuesta $6. I'll be there for a month. Estaré allí por un mes. Un mes, a month. We're going to spend a year in Europe. Vamos a pasar. We are going to spend. Vamos a pasar un año. A year. Un año. We're going to spend a month. Un mes. We're going to spend a week. Vamos a pasar una semana en la playa. Wow! Vamos a pasar. We are going to spend. Vamos a pasar una semana en la playa. Okay, again, un and una mean one or a. For example, 1 cent, un centavo. Un centavo can be a cent. If you want to say $1, un dólar. A dollar, un dólar. If you want to say a minute, un minuto. 1 minute, un minuto. So they can mean one or a or an. Unos and unas basically mean a few or some. Again, some years, unos años. If we go feminine, some weeks, unas semanas. Some hours pass by slowly. Unas horas, pasan despacio. All right, that's it. Let's summarize it right here. Notice the colors. Este color aquí es negro. Este color es negro. This color is black. Este color es negro. Este color es verde. Verde, negro. Este color es blanco. This color is white. Este color es blanco. Este color bonito. This pretty color. Este color bonito es azul. Azul, azul, azul. Este color es café. Café. Now, café means brown. And café is a cafe that you eat or drink at. And café is coffee. Café. I don't drink coffee. Yo no tomo café. But some people, when they get up in the morning, ay, 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 necesito una taza de café. I need some coffee. Café, por favor. Some people go to that Starbucks. I've never been there in my life, but I see all the cars. I drive by millions of them every day. Starbucks. Some people says, oh my gosh, I got to get a coffee with the mocha latte chata, all the sugar in there and the cream and all that stuff that coffee drinkers can put in there. That's a cafetazo. Ay, necesito un cafetazo en la mañana para despertarme. I need a huge cup of coffee with all those crazy ingredients we mentioned. Necesito un cafetazo en la mañana para tomar, to drink, para despertarme, to wake me up. So café is coffee, café is the color brown, and café can be a cafe that you go with a buddy and sit down and have something to eat or drink. Okay, so we've got morado is purple, verde, café, azul, negro, y blanco. We're learning colors, we're learning accent marks, and we're learning our lesson. We're learning it all at once. Gracias, amigos. Just to summarize, los números 0 a 10. Again, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's traditional Spanish. That's all they give you. But we're teaching you how to use them in a practical way, right? If you want to say $10, $10, okay? If you want to say in 5 minutes, en 5 minutos. If you want to say a year ago, hace un año. If you want to say a week ago, hace una semana. If you want to say in 3 weeks, en tres semanas. In 1 day. And we can't say uno in front of dia. The number uno is 1, but if you want to say 1 in front of a masculine noun, you have to say un. So en un día. So we're learning a lot to go along with our main lesson, which are numbers. Numbers 1 to 10. Okay, es todo por ahora. Vamos a regresar con otra lección muy pronto. We're going to come back with another lesson very soon. La próxima lección, the next lesson, van a ser los números en los 10. 10, 11, 12, 13, etc. We're going to go from 10, 11, 12, 13 on our next lesson. Gracias todos. Hasta la próxima lección. This is Profesor Pablo signing off. Que tengan un gran día. Have a great day, and we'll see you back soon. Gracias.